Hi, Mrs. Sullivan. How are you today?
I'm alright, I guess. As good as I can be right now, I guess.
You sound like you're feeling down. Is there anything you want to talk about before we start therapy?
Actually, yes. Um, I know you told me that this was going to be hard, and I thought I had prepared myself for that, and I thought I had the courage it takes, but now I just don't think I have it in me. And the smallest tasks take so much effort, and I just keep breaking down, crying. Um, I don't think I could do it.
I understand you're feeling very discouraged and frustrated. Um, you experienced a very traumatic event, and this is a very big challenge to face.
Yeah.
And you said you thought you had the courage it would take. What maybe changed within the last week that makes you think differently?
Um, just that I keep trying and I try simple things that I used to be able to do easily and now I can't.
I can imagine that's very frustrating. Do you remember the types of goals we talked about before therapy began?
Yes. Long-term goals and the other ones.
Yes, short term goals and long term goals.
Yes.
Speech and language therapy is something that happens over a course of time with short term accomplishments along the way. Do you remember what one of our long term goals are?
Yes, to read a full page of a magazine.
Yes, that's right. And do you remember what the short term goal is?
To read 5 sentences of a magazine.
Yes, that's right. It's all about making small progress toward one long term goal. This is going to be a challenge, and accepting that you might only see small changes every couple weeks is also very difficult. But small changes over time can add up to big changes in the long run.
Hmm. That makes sense. It's just so hard to stay motivated, especially when everything is so difficult for me.
Yeah, I can imagine it's very frustrating.
Yeah.
Can you reflect back and think maybe what skills you had right after the accident?
Oh, geez, I couldn't talk. I could barely even open my eyes or stay awake.
And then maybe a week later, what were you doing then?
Um, I could stay awake a little longer. I could say a couple words, a few
Mm-hmm.
words. Yeah.
Yeah, you asked me how I was when I walked into the room that week.
Yeah.
Now, what about a month later? Do you remember what you were doing then?
I could walk around the room with some help,
Mm-hmm.
and I could talk a little bit more.
Yes. And then now today, what can you do now that you couldn't do recently after the accident?
I can definitely talk more. I do walk better, but I still need a little help.
Mm-hmm.
I've been starting to look around my room and I try to read the signs that are on the walls. So yeah.
So now that we've reflected back, do you think you've made positive progress since the accident?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely.
And it didn't happen overnight, right?
No. It was definitely frustrating and happened at a slow pace, but a steady one.
See, the progress that you made during each step of your initial recovery has led you to where you are now.
Yeah, that's true. It's actually a lot of progress, and I didn't realize it until, reflecting on it.
And now you can think about where you'll be in several months once this rehabilitation program has begun. Do you think you'll see similar progress in your therapy?
Um, I think that I can reflect on the progress I've made. Maybe I can keep track of the progress I made at the end of each week.
That's a great idea. Do you think that would keep you motivated?
Yeah, and then when I am discouraged, I can read it and look at it.
Mm-hmm. So, like a journal or a log, maybe?
Yeah, and yeah, I can look at it to help me feel better.
I think that's a great idea. You can see where you once were, where you are now, and then envision where you're going to be in the future. It's a great idea.
Yeah, and maybe when my brother comes to visit, he can help me write. He's very motivating and helpful for me.
Oh, your brother comes to visit?
Yeah, usually 3 days a week.
Wow, he sounds like he's very supportive in your recovery and therapy.
Yeah, he really is. Yeah.
That's great. What do you think of the idea of maybe including him in maybe our future therapy?
Actually, yeah, that would be great. I'd be very interested in that.
Great. Then maybe this Friday I can come by with a journal and we can start reflecting. And your brother, yourself, and I can all contribute in the different ways that you've progressed since the accident.
Oh yes, definitely. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Great.
So I'm ready to start therapy today.
All right, perfect.